Here are the top stories for today, the 4th of May 2022. Malacanang thanked the public for its continued support and trust to President Rodrigo Duterte. The COMELEC places Misamis Occidental and Pilar Abra under election areas of concern. President Duterte says he wants to avoid an adversarial approach to the Russia-Ukraine dispute. And the Presidential Task Force on Media Safety assures local journalists of their security in celebration of World Freedom Day. Good day, I am William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Malacanang thanked the public for its continued support and trust to President Rodrigo Duterte. This after the Octa research reports that in its latest survey, Duterte still enjoys very high awareness and performance ratings. PCOO Secretary and Acting Presidential Spokesperson Martin Andanaro said the Duterte administration will continue to faithfully serve the Filipinos until the end of its term.
Nagpapasalamat po kami sa inyong patuloy at walang sawang suporta at pagtitiwala sa ating punong ehekutibo, Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte, na nakakuha ng pinakamataas na performance rating at 67% at pinakamataas na trust rating 69% sa mga opisyal ng pamahalaan. Ito ay ayon sa March 5 to 10, 2022 tugon ng masa survey ng Octa Research. Makakaasa po kayo na ang tapang at malasakit ng ating Pangulo, ang kanyang paglilingkod, ay mararamdaman hanggang sa huling sandali ng kanyang termino. Maraming salamat po.
The Philippines gears towards population protection as the government continuously ramps up its vaccination drives. In a press briefing, PCOO Secretary and Acting Presidential Spokesperson Martin Andanaro reports that as of yesterday, 80% of the target population already received their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. This is equivalent to 72.7 million individuals. Of the number, 67,958,216 are fully vaccinated, while 13,273,120 have booster or an additional shot.
Overall, nasa 147.3 million na ang total doses administered. Sa mga chikiting na edad 5 hanggang 11 taong gulang, nasa 2.1 million na ang fully vaccinated. Samantalang ang mga batang 12 hanggang 17 anyos, nasa higit 9.2 million ang fully vaccinated as of May 3, 2022. Pumunta naman tayo sa ating mga lolo at lola. Nasa 6.7 million ang fully vaccinated seniors as of May 3, 2022.
Misamis Occidental and Pilar Abra are placed under election areas of concern due to election-related violence. COMELEC Chair Saidamin Pangarungan made the announcement this morning during a ceremonial send-off of the security forces in Camp Crame. Pangarungan said they received information that the police in Pilar are biased for certain candidates. The police force of the town will be relieved. As to Misamis Occidental, the decision to place the province under COMELEC control is to prevent spillover of violence in nearby provinces. The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, ensures that all the vote-counting machines are working and secured by conducting its final testing and sealing of the machines. The details from Wilnard Bacelonia.
The final testing and sealing, or FTS, of vote-counting machines was a success. This is according to COMELEC Chair Saidamin Pangarungan. The poll body chief was in San Juan City yesterday to personally attend to the final testing and sealing, or FTS, of vote-counting machines. Pangarungan said the FTS was flawless and perfect. He said he is positive that more people will be encouraged to cast their votes knowing that the machines are secured. The final testing and sealing is until Saturday, which is also the last day of the campaign period. In Bataan, the testing and sealing of vote-counting machines are now ongoing in all polling precincts. Watchers of two rival mayoral candidates, volunteers of the Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting or PPCRV, and members of the Board of Election Inspectors witnessed the testing of the vote counting machines to see that there's no defect and can be used in the election date. Bataan has over 500,000 registered voters. And in Zamboanga, the distribution, testing, and sealing of vote counting machines also started yesterday. Representatives from the different political parties and the PPCRV witnessed the testing and sealing of VCMs. First District Election Officer Attorney Stephen Roy Cañete said they prioritized the distribution of VCMs in the polling precincts in far-flung barangays. Zamboanga City has more than 400,000 registered voters. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Wilnard Baselonia.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, is set to hold special absentee voting in Shanghai, China, in case lockdown persists until Monday. Shanghai is under lockdown due to increased COVID-19 cases. COMELEC said the votes in the host country will have an effect on the ranking of party list groups. With 1,900 registered voters in Shanghai, COMELEC Commissioner Marlon Casquejo explains that the last seat or second seat will not be proclaimed as the poll body has to wait for the results. However, he said the 1,900 votes will not make a difference on the ranking for president and vice presidential posts as well as senatorials. Still ahead, private hospitals discuss with the Department of Health the denied application for claims of some health workers. President Duterte says he wants to avoid an adversarial approach to the Russia-Ukraine dispute. We'll be back after a quick break. Keep it here on the PNA Newsroom.
Hi everyone, James Deacon here. The COVID-19 vaccines are finally here, and the government wants to make sure the vaccines reach us. So let's do our part by making sure that we get registered to be included in the vaccination list of our LGU. You can register right in the comfort and safety of your own homes through your LGU's online registration platform. And you can also register on-site in the vaccination venues or through your barangay. Remember, getting vaccinated is the first step towards ending this pandemic. So let's do our part as disciplined citizens. Bida ang may disiplina. Magpakarehistro at magpabakuna para sa ligtas na pamilya, ligtas na bayan.
The Private Hospitals Association of the Philippines, or PHAPI, is coordinating with the Department of Health on the denied application for claims of some healthcare workers. According to the Private Hospital Workers Alliance of the Philippines, more than 63,000 healthcare workers did not receive their benefits under the Bayanihan II law. Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Berjere, meanwhile, said the delay was due to the lapses in the application forms.
Po ang problema doon ay yung pagbibigay po nila ng proper documentation para mailabas ng Department of Health yung SRA na tinatawag. Pero yung pong susunod po na para sa mga ating healthcare workers ay hinihintay na po namin yung paglalabas po ng Department of Health. Nakapag-submit na po halos sa mga different hospitals.
Dr. Jose Rene de Grano also said private hospitals are now ready in case of another rise in the number of COVID-19 cases. He said the increase in the number of infections is a possible effect of election-related rallies.
Ay, kasi po, ang nangyayari naman po talaga, hindi naman natin mapigilan yung mga tao sa paglabas, lalo po sa mga rallies. But ang pinaka-importante po, sundin po nila yung pag-wear po ng mask at sa ganun po ay hindi po sila masyadong makahawa at manghawa sa kung mayroon man silang sakit. Yun po. Ang mga hospitals naman po ay lagi nakahanda. Kung sakali man talaga magkaroon ng surge, kung epekto man ito ng ating mga rallies at saka ng eleksyon, ay ang mga ospital naman po hindi naman po nila sinara yung kanilang mga COVID wards. Nakahanda po yun.
Lawmakers laud the decision of President Rodrigo Duterte to stop online cockfighting or e-sabong operations. Senator Grace Poe said she agreed with President Duterte's decision to end the controversial gambling practice as life and families always comes first. Poe is referring to the unresolved disappearance of at least 34 cockfight aficionados. For Senator Joel Villanueva, he said he has always called for the stoppage of e-sabong operations and that money is not the only thing at stake here, but also the lives of the people. President Rodrigo Duterte said he prefers to take a friendly approach to the Russia-Ukraine crisis to prevent harm on the country. During the campaign rally of his ruling party, PDP Laban in Cainta, Rizal, Duterte said there is a possibility that the Philippines might be targeted in case the Russia-Ukraine war escalates into a nuclear war. The president said the Philippines could not afford to be hostile because it does not have enough weapons to fight. Duterte warned that the Philippines, along with Taiwan, could be a hit if China gives military support to Russia. He said it would likely happen as troops of the United States are using Philippine bases and facilities. Duterte said he is just making a warning since the Russia-Ukraine crisis would continue even after he steps down from office in June. In April, Duterte and Xi expressed deep concern over the Russia-Ukraine conflict, hoping that the two countries would seek a peaceful settlement.
Ang warning ko sa inyo, this is not the worst na sa aking panahon. Matagal ito at kung lumakit ang giyera between Israel and Ukraine, Russia kontra Ukraine. Pag nagsumabog ito, naging nuclear, medyo delikado na tayo. Pag matapang-tapangan ka, ang masalubong mo, bomba, wala tayo niyan. Ang ating armaments, good only for the insurgency problem in keeping the integrity of the Filipino land. Wala tayong panglabas.
In our business news, more people are considering getting a personal insurance due to the pandemic, while digitalization has helped improve business for insurance stakeholders. Life insurance executives say with the domestic economy continuing to recover, people are also regaining their income sources. BPI-AIA Chief Executive Officer Surendra Menon said people getting new jobs along with a positive attitude towards the economy will boost the number of people who will have disposable income without forgetting the need for protection. Mikaes Dumlao, a registered financial consultant of ProLife UK, said increased savings because of work-from-home arrangements is a plus for their capacity to acquire protection products. Dumlao also noted how they depend on virtual client meetings and digital copies of insurance coverage proposals. He said the awareness of the losses from not having insurance coverage plus digitalization of processes that really increased sales during the pandemic. More stories from the newsroom. The Army honors about 500 soldiers for participating in disaster efforts after the landslides in Leyte. And the Presidential Task Force on Media Safety assures local journalists of their security in celebration of World Freedom Day. Details ahead. Stay with the PNA Newsroom. The Philippine Army honored at least 534 soldiers who joined the search, rescue, and retrieval operations in landslide-hit communities in Baybay City and Abuyog in Leyte. Army Chief Lieutenant General Romeo Bronner Jr. awarded medals to team leaders who joined the operations in landslide-hit areas for 3 weeks. Also recognized are some canine dogs who joined in the search for bodies under the rubble. Soldiers assisted over 3,700 evacuees hours after the catastrophic landslides in Baybay City on April 10 and Abuyog on April 12. The team retrieved 126 cadavers in Baybay City and 58 in Abuyog. They also rescued 63 survivors in both areas. Bronner also said the soldiers also helped in building houses and distribution of relief goods. The Department of Education reports it has enlisted over 360,000 learners in Western Visayas during its early registration for the school year 2022 to 2023. The early registrants consist of students for kindergarten, grade 1, grade 7, and grade 11. The number is lower compared with this school year's over 387,000 early registrants. This will serve as basis for planning and preparations in terms of classrooms, student-teacher ratio, number of modules and learning materials, and other resources for the next school year. The early registration ended on April 30, 2022. Based on DepEd's proposal, the school year 2022 to 2023 is set to start on August 22nd. In observance of World Press Freedom Day, the Presidential Task Force on Media Security met with local journalists all over the country to discuss ways to promote media safety. Undersecretary Joel C. Egco, Executive Director of PTFoMS, said the task force held consultative meetings with local journalists in various regions in the past week. The task force also conducted case conferences and updates on media killings with the PNP and met with several families of victims of media violence. Egco assured local journalists that the PTFoMS has the means to protect any journalist, especially now with the designation of all PNP's public information officers as PTFoMS media security vanguards. Culminating the week-long event is the signing into law by President Rodrigo Duterte declaring August 30 as National Press Freedom Day. Egco said this landmark measure is one of the Philippines' biggest contributions to the international community in the promotion of media freedom and safety. A young couple who were fighters of the Communist Party of the Philippines New People's Army based in Hinobaan, Negros Occidental surrendered to the Bacolod City Police on Tuesday. The two were identified as Adonis Ligid-Ligid, a platoon leader from the NPA's Armando Sumayang Command, and his common-law wife, Danica Aro, a medic from the same group. The couple contacted the anti-crime advocacy group Task Force Kasanag, which endorsed them to Police Station 7. They told the police they were blinded by the propaganda of the CPP-NPA, and now they have become tired of the armed struggle. City Police Director Colonel Thomas Joseph Martir welcomed the former rebels. Hinobaan Mayor Ernesto Estrao, meanwhile, turned over the financial assistance provided by the Municipal Social Welfare and Development Office. The couple's surrender was held during the launching of the BCPO's Project TAPE, or Table for Peace, a task force to end local communist armed conflict initiative. The National Commission on Muslim Filipinos is now determining legal steps against popular social media content creator Tukomi, who posted on YouTube an insensitive video insulting Muslims. The NCMF Bureau of External Relations said its lawyers are already determining the appropriate cases against the suspects. The video contained a series of pranks, including one where a man wearing Muslim traditional attire throws a black backpack inside a barbershop filled with people. NCMF Commissioner Yusuf Mando commented on the post, thanking a fellow Muslim who notified him about the incident. Other netizens' comments condemned the video content for stereotyping Muslims. The NCMF meanwhile appealed to the public to refrain from spreading the video and avoid further engagements with the content creators. The Davao City-based content creators known as the Tukomi Brothers are pranksters who get their content ideas from suggestions of their Facebook and YouTube followers. The provincial government of Lanao del Norte hosted back-to-back assemblies to tackle the pandemic and various issues affecting farmers. More on this from Marafia Kirap.
Municipal councilors from 20 towns in Lanao del Norte convened through a General Assembly to highlight accomplishments during the pandemic. Provincial Philippine Councilors League Federated President Gilbert Laceda Jr. shared the efforts implemented by their group during the pandemic.
During the pandemic, we distributed hygiene kits and alcohol through our Oplan Tabang alcohol activity. We also shared our blessings to the community by promoting and giving importance to education. In doing so, we went to Nunungan to conduct our Adapt a School program where we provided a computer set with printer and printing materials.
Meanwhile, Vice Governor Maria Cristina Atay said that the councilors can do benchmarking at the provincial board or sangguniang panlalawigan to learn about their practices like the legislative tracking system and office branding. Moreover, livestock farmers in the province receive farm inputs such as cows, carabaos, chickens, goats, and household items like refrigerator and washing machine through a raffle draw during the Livestock Farmers Congress. The Provincial Veterinary Office spearheaded the said Congress to also inform the livestock farmers about updates on animal disease, natural farming methods, and livestock raising.
Kami din sa probinsya, maningkamot kami nga ang inyong mga panginabuhi makatabang ang atong gobyerno. Pero unta ang gihatag nga hinabang sa gobyerno ato pong lantawon, ato pong suklian ug insakto nga pag-amuma, insakto nga paggamit, insakto nga responsibilidad sa salig nga gihatag sa gobyerno kaninyo.
Dimaporo also commended the Provincial Veterinary Office for combating the African swine fever that killed farm animals. She added that the provincial government did not neglect the crisis and even gave compensation for those who were affected. For the PNA Newsroom, Arafia Kiram of PIA Iligan City and Lanao del Norte.
Let's take another look at today's biggest stories. Malacanang thanked the public for its continued support and trust to President Rodrigo Duterte. The COMELEC places Misamis Occidental and Pilar Abra under election areas of concern. President Duterte says he wants to avoid an adversarial approach to the Russia-Ukraine dispute. And the Presidential Task Force on Media Safety assures local journalists of their security in celebration of World Freedom Day. As Filipinos, we all have a vital role to play in preventing the spread of COVID-19. So remember, wear your face masks and face shields, wash your hands often, practice safe physical distancing, go out only for essential reasons, and get vaccinated as soon as possible to protect ourselves, our families, and the community. Together, we can beat COVID-19. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. For more news content, check our webpage or log onto the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also, watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, we tell stories that inspire change. I am William Theo. Good day, everyone.